Well, that was a whole lot of nothing last time. Here's hoping for some progress this time to make up for that. I'm not entirely sure if I passed the halfway point or not, if we're still getting there or something in this game. The fast-forwarding and stumbling around really makes it hard to tell. What I do know is I checked online for the way to the next key, and dear God, do I want to scream now that I know the answer to that problem. But I think I'll save most of my venting about the stupidity for when I manage to grab it, which shouldn't take too long since I now know the trick. At least I damn well know we're going to make that progress to start things off here. First thing we've got to do is go back to the light version of the world so we can get to a portal that lets us be in that room without having to go through those frickin' yellow doors. How many times have we gone back and forth between the two versions of Aether so far, anyway? And how many more times are we going to have to do that before we get to the final area of the game? Again, I really hope the level design is much less annoying to me when I finally get around to LPing Metroid Prime 3. At the very least, I know that my navigation issues wouldn't have been solved if I did the Wii version of this game. And excuse me for wishing that there was a Switch version of the Metroid Prime trilogy. It's just baffling to me that Nintendo leans on its history so much, and yet picks and chooses what games to bother letting people play on more modern hardware officially. It's just weird. They don't want emulation to be a thing, but at the same time they encourage it. Weird. We're being given directions to the third key before we've managed to grab the second. Is the game trying to taunt me by saying I damn well should have grabbed the second key by now? Well, excuse me for not noticing the hidden path when I thought hidden paths were more of a thing in the 2D part of the franchise, not 3D. Good God, I think Metroid Dread really made me feel spoiled for the quality of information we get in Metroid maps. And there we are, the portal that will take us to the second key. I really can't find it in me to feel like an idiot for not noticing that tucked-away platform there earlier, because we've never had anything like that in either this game or the previous Metroid Prime as far as I remember. Sure, hidden paths have been a thing in Metroid since the absolute first release back in the 80s, but come on! Expectations were built in both this game and the previous Metroid Prime. If a major item that we absolutely need to grab is tucked away in a corner that the player wouldn't think about looking for, then either add more hidden things across the game so it doesn't feel so bullshit, or just put it in a hard-to-reach but not outright tucked-away spot. Now, I'm sure it's possible I'm just nitpicking due to my annoyance with this game as a whole. Still, can you blame me for being annoyed about this particular thing, considering everything else the game has been throwing at us? Anyway, there seems to be nothing else in this room, and it's sandwiched between two yellow doors that we can't open. So time to go back to regular Aether, and back to fast-forwarding while we go through familiar territory to be able to get to the spot where the next key is. I swear, this kind of backtracking isn't as much of an issue for me when I've got the controller in my hands, as opposed to when I have to come up with commentary to fill the time as we go from point to point. I probably should have used the cannon to get here faster, but considering how much trouble we went through just to reach the gravity boost, I feel kind of obligated to use it whenever we can, and so far the best place to use it is the area where we had to go through just to gain it in the first place. I swear, other Metroid games make the gravity suit / boost make future areas less troublesome to get through. Not the previous areas, but this game is designed around backtracking to a larger degree than the others. I just seem to have so many more complaints about this game, and on a fundamental level, and I just don't think that doing the Wii version of this game would deal with all that many of my issues with it overall. Bloody hell, just how many times have we dealt with this specific pair of pirates anyway? Why do they consistently lock the doors on us in this room, when none of the other constantly respawning enemies do the same anywhere else in the game? And why did the music calm down when I'm pretty sure they're still trying to kill us? Wait, they're not? It certainly didn't feel like we killed them. Have I been baffled by the same thing numerous times in the same room or something? Because part of me wants to say that's the first time that's happened to us, and the other has this annoying itch of deja vu. Right. Apparently we can't wake up that plant thing so we can kill it before we get up there. That would have made too much sense. It's not that I have an absolute need to kill it. I'm just pretty irritable this far into the game considering all the bits of padding we've seen and the sheer amount I see on the horizon. I'm tempted to take my next break from this game, but I promised myself I'd hold off on that until we beat the Spider Ball boss. Now, if only I had some idea where that is in relation to where we are right now in the game. It could be anywhere from the absolute next clip to 15 clips from now, and I wouldn't know, because my memory is just damn shaky. Anyone else find it oddly funny that this type of game really must be so much easier for people with damn good memories, but I enjoy it despite that in so many ways, essentially I'm playing it fresh pretty much every damn time I pick it up. Why did I think these things were destructible crates? Oh yeah, because this game for some reason decided to have multiple different visual representations for the same sort of thing that grants us items without a fight. Again, I just plain do not like the maps in the 3D section of the franchise. When Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I hope they manage to make the maps feel like less of a mess. It's just impossible for me not to get annoyed by that, since a major part of every Metroid game is navigating, finding our way from place to place, exploring, and grabbing items along the way. I know it's probably incredibly troublesome to make a 3-dimensional map to help fit a 3-dimensional game, especially since Metroid has always had quite a bit of platforming. I know that a map design similar to what Resident Evil typically does would not really work, since Samus does a hell of a lot more long-range jumping than most protagonists in games that involve exploring unfamiliar territory and finding resources. Still, what they settled on for Metroid Prime 1 and 2 is a downright mess, and I am damn sure they stuck with it for Metroid Prime 3. I think it's terrible, but apparently the people at Retro Studios felt it worked well enough that they didn't want to risk something going wrong if they tried to tweak it, especially considering the space of time between each Metroid Prime release back then. But considering the amount of time they've had between Metroid Prime releases, and certainly the fact that Prime 4 was delayed as they decided to start the project over from scratch at least once, they have no excuse not to make a better map. Well, this is certainly a familiar spot. And look at that! More possessed pirates have come out to play. It definitely says something that I have more respect for the possessed pirates than I do for the scary-looking versions of the Ing in their various forms. Well, at least that one I can confirm the kill. And the other one burnt to death because the light beam is essentially an underpowered plasma beam from the previous Metroid Prime. I suppose that means that the dark beam is essentially supposed to be the ice beam, since they're opposites and all that. But that said, there were moments in the previous game that I wanted to pull out the ice beam to get the job done, even if objectively it was the least capable weapon we had in combat. Its added effect was that damn good. It's just strange how much more powerful I felt in the first Metroid Prime at this stage of the game compared to this one, since this game is trying to give us a more existential threat to deal with. We are trying to prevent a planet from being completely consumed by an alternate dimension full of hostile monsters that wouldn't mind expanding through our entire universe. Unfortunately, I just feel completely uninterested in the overall conflict of this game due to both the level design and the way the lore is trying to shove things at us. It's still an overall fun game, but I just haven't been grabbed by it the same way I was grabbed by the first, and when the second installment of a trilogy is underwhelming, the third installment has a lot more work it has to do. Well, the green door isn't that far away from us at this point, and there's a save point between us and the area we haven't explored yet. I certainly appreciate that. As tempted as I am to just end the clip as we get to the save point here, though, I feel like I can definitely shove in another bit of raw footage without risking going over half an hour long, especially with the sheer amount of fast-forwarding I've been doing. Right, 2 saves in one clip, and we're gonna have a third to close things off. Is it a good or bad sign that the third save takes up approximately half of the damn video? Right, can't get to the green door because apparently we have to do something in this same damn hallway in the alternate version of Aether just to open the unseen gate. Bloody hell, the fact that this sort of thing isn't even hinted on in the map really makes planning your route far more of a pain in the ass in this game. Oh, come on, just let me out! Bloody hell, I am just so frustrated this far in that I'm literally ramming my head against a wall as the toxic air burns me. 21 clips into this game, and I feel like Aether has effectively ground me down. My Metroid Prime 1 LP was 40 clips long, and I have the distinct feeling Metroid Prime 2 is gonna be even longer. Oh, there's no way there's something in this specific room that could possibly help us. If there was, then I would have done it all the way back before I decided to do WWF WrestleMania 2000, just to give my brain a temporary rest from the bullshit that is Metroid Prime 2. I am in a mental state where I am making dumb mistakes that I wouldn't have made the previous time I was in this same area, in the same game. Unfortunately for me, Metroid Prime 2 has no mercy. It just has so much padding that you could free fall from orbit, and you wouldn't break any bones. You might die from the sheer whiplash of going so fast, only to suddenly stop and bounce a few times. But still, it's an insane amount of padding here, coupled with a lot of non-intuitive level design that you can't see in the least on the map when you put it up. Now granted, I tend to LP a number of rather linear games like Call of Duty and such. I have fought my way through quite a few always over the course of posting videos on this channel, but I still feel like I can genuinely say I am currently in a type of hell, and I doubt it was the kind of hell the game designers intended. It is not the annoyingly durable monsters, or the section of the world poisoning me just by existing. It is just me trying to commute from one end of the world to the other that's driving me completely insane. Right, through the portal again, because apparently we need to do something in the other version of the planet. Huh, how did I not scan the light beam energy before now? And apparently I haven't done so for the dark beam energy either. It's probably not going to mean much of anything when I do scan it, but still, you can't say I don't try to do as much as I can in a given game. So now I have to wonder how the hell I never noticed this speed boost point before now. That is just painfully obvious. Well, we've never been in this hallway before, so may as well slow the footage down. The hell? Oh, if they eat toxins, they should just go to Dark Aether. There's quite an abundance of toxins there to eat. Right. Probably not worth the hassle of trying to figure out how to kill. We've got places to go and keys to grab. What's that glow to the side? Right. So apparently those things pop up in both versions of Aether. Too bad they don't drop any healing fields on this side, but I suppose those aren't anywhere near necessary. When the air itself isn't trying to kill you. Anyway, now that the door's open on this side, it should open on the other. And that means we should be able to make it to the third key. Still, let's see what's on the other side of this door first. Well, they certainly made this maze to be a bit more of a pain in the ass. I'm pretty sure we absolutely need to deal with the other switch in this maze before we're allowed to the other side. Yeah, just like I figured. This game may make me feel like an idiot at times, but at least there are also moments where I can predict what's going to happen relatively soon. I'm not a completely hopeless case. Right, pirates out of nowhere once again. Have I already asked why they never bother using these teleporters in any other game in the franchise? At least the Ing don't have any of the higher-ranked pirates to assimilate. That's got to be worth something. Though I still wouldn't be surprised if we end up running into one of the large brutes like the one that ended up being a boss fight in the previous game. another one show up out of nowhere, or were there always more than one of the bastards in here? It's easy to lose track when they can go invisible and they teleport in. Well, we certainly took quite a pounding just to take one of the bastards down. I suppose the others decided to run and fight another day. Or another minute at the very least. Son of a bitch! Looks like we're gonna need the spider ball if we want to go any further in this direction. Again, that is an annoyingly familiar feeling. Let's just get out of here. We've still got that third key to reach, and we certainly know where it is after the in-game hint. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass to get there. Yeah, well, that's what the fast forward button is for, to help cut down the quiet moments in the game without outright skipping over them. Well, at least there's a portal nearby. Every bit of saving time helps, but again, it's obnoxious the sheer amount of padding in this game. Right, there's the green door. The key is near, which means that the temple boss fight is probably going to happen soon as well. Hell, I would bet money that it's going to be in the absolute next clip. But then I won't know for sure what happens in that clip until we get there, and we've still got some minutes to burn through for this one to finish. Right, my fault for not just jumping up there while we had the chance. The health items really just do not feel like they come often enough, considering how we're essentially doomed to take quite a bit of damage in the dark version of the world. Sure, the healing fields give us something, but dear God, we've spent quite a bit of this long game having at least one energy tank drained from us, and it's downright annoying that it's more due to the environment and the frequency of healing items than it is to the bosses. Anyway, seems I somehow didn't scan the grapple points before either. At least not after we gained the grapple beam and were able to actually use them. Is that better or worse than not scanning the beam replenishing items until just recently? And there's the key, so now the second of the 3 temples is unlocked. Really wish I felt excited over that, but again, we have 3 more keys to grab before we're allowed into the temple in the next area. And then there's the key hunt we're gonna have to do for the final area of the game. Again, this game is definitely doing everything it can to slow things down and make the overall playtime as long as possible, which is probably why I'm getting less and less inclined to stay in the healing fields and wait. Okay, so we've got one of the tentacled ink to deal with. That's at least a decent excuse for me to stay in the healing field. Again, I'm just pretty damn impatient this far into the game, considering we've done this song and dance to get to a temple once before, and we have another to do after we're done with this second one. I just hope that when we finally get to the 3rd sector of the planet, that I won't get too damn sloppy due to just wanting to get this game behind me. Right, of course I can't make that jump. You'd think that this far into the game I'd have a better idea how far we can jump, especially since it's the same distance we could jump in the previous Metroid Prime. Well, this doesn't feel like a better angle to get to the red door. Oh, that felt like I just barely made it. But I suppose what matters is that I made the jump. So let's just save and call it a day.